Well, hello, groovers, and welcome to the Shxtty Kxtty Kxtchen. That beautiful cat is, of course, our gorgeous Sunny Girl, the mascot for the Shxtty Kxtty Kxtchen. She's not a shitty kitty, but the production values are. I keep getting a little alert that my Wi-Fi is really bad in the position I've got my laptop. So hopefully it's going to work. I bumped the live a bit early. I'm buggered, guys. I had a big day, did lots of stuff in the garden and took a lot of you groovers down to the beach, and that was a really fun live. Thanks to everyone who joined me for that. And I was like, I'm good to go. I want to cook dinner and have it all ready to go for MasterChef Australia, which kicks off at 7:30. I'm going to be having this soup with some chicken, like, see, I can't even brain. That's how tired I am. You know, like a cheese on toast, but I'm going to do one with chicken because I did a roast chicken the other night. Hello, Ruth. G'day, gorgeous. So it's Sunday night in Australia, and yeah, I've had a big weekend. It is going to be a fixed camera live. I'm not going to be, well, I might show you what's happening in the pot while the soup's boiling, but I'm not going to be showing my face or anything. We're just going to get on with some cooking. In fact, I've already prepared my dinner. I prepared it earlier. So this is going to be a very short live. And here it is. Ta-da! Dinner is served. Cheers, everybody. Stay groovy, everyone. No, I'm lying. We are going to be cooking. Oh, look. See her down there? That's Sunny making an appearance. She's actually a grey tabby, but she looks quite dark. Hey, Mug. She's having her dinner. Everybody's hungry around here. So we are going to be making a Yotam Ottolenghi recipe again from his book Plenty. It's a tomato, semolina, and coriander soup. Now, I love tomato soup, but I've never made one with semolina before. Hey, Francesca, some of you guys call coriander cilantro. It's the same thing. So we're going to be making that, but a bit of exciting news. At the end of the live, we're going to keep cooking the book, but we're going to cook a new book for a while because I spent a bit of time looking through Yotam's book, and he put out a cookbook a couple of years ago called Simple because fans of his were saying, Yotam, love your recipes and so on, but you sometimes have ingredient lists that are a mile long. And I was looking through his book, and there were recipes that I was like, oh, that'd be delicious. But like one of the ingredients was semolina, which is so expensive. So I thought we'd move over to a more sort of family-friendly cookbook for a while and muck around with that. And then when I get a bit tired of that book, we'll go on to another one. I've got a never-ending supply of cookbooks here. So this will be our last Yotam Ottolenghi for a while, at least from Plenty. We might move over to his book Simple at some point. But at the end of the live tonight, I'm going to show you the book that I'm going to be cooking from the next few weeks. And I made the lamb shanks, the Rogan Josh lamb shanks from that book last night, and they were absolutely sensational. I'm doing a little video. I took some footage and some photos and stuff like that. So I'll be doing a little video for that. Also, in other news, I've started a new channel for my cooking stuff. It's called the Shxtty Kxtty Kxtchen. But the X in Shxtty, sorry, the I in Shxtty is an X so that it doesn't get taken down for being a naughty name. I'm going to start moving all my cooking videos from this channel over to that one. So I'd love it if you could all jump over there and subscribe. The link is in my community page. I've popped it in there. I've already got a couple of subscribers, so thank you to whoever's done that. That's awesome. And hey, Anne-Marie, good to see you, gorgeous. Ultimately, everything that I do food-related will be on that channel. The same with my true crime stuff. I'm slowly moving that over to my Smooth Criminal podcast channel. So like the live I did yesterday with Shanna is now up on the Smooth Criminal podcast channel. So please feel free to subscribe to either of my channels in addition to this one. This one's going to continue to be showing off Tassie and having a bit of fun doing some videos about other YouTube creators and that kind of stuff. I'm splitting them up a bit so they're more focused. I'll still be cooking on this channel for quite a while until I've uploaded all the food things I've done to the Shxtty Kxtty Kxtchen, so you've got plenty of time to subscribe to that. But down the track, we will be migrating over there for cooking stuffs. I'm great today, Anne-Marie. I hope you're well too. I hope you've had a lovely weekend. I'm so tired. My legs are tired. So we're going to get on with making this soup. Now, first thing we're going to do, which is something I never do because I'm not precious and I like to think I'm a bit rustic, but we're going to learn how to peel tomatoes for this soup. I've never peeled tomatoes. I don't normally bother. I'm just like, well, what's a bit of tomato skin between friends, right? But we're going to learn how to peel tomatoes. And this is one method. Hopefully it'll work. I Googled and I went for the first thing that came up. So you get your tomatoes. Now make sure if they've got stickers on them, which mine didn't, but if they do, make sure that you remove all the stickers because that would really fuck up a nice soup. Give them a bit of a wash. And then what we're going to do is get a sharp knife and we're just going to cut a little shallow X on their bums. That's probably a bit deeper than shallow, but look, it's Sunday night. So you cut a little X on their butts. I like red butts and I cannot lie. Whoops, daisy. So that's obviously going to help for peeling in a little while. Can't believe we're doing this, but yes, we are peeling tomatoes. The next thing you've got to do is fill up a bowl with iced water. Just enough water to cover the tomatoes. I've just put some cold water in a bowl and I'm going to put a bit of ice in there now. That'll do, pig. And then we're just going to pop the tomatoes in the iced water and apparently leave them there for about 5 minutes. And the skin might start, or the peel might start to shrivel before 5 minutes. But once it starts shriveling, that's when you start peeling. So yeah, see, thingamajig. Hello, gorgeous. What are you cooking, a Garuva? Oh, you listened to the last live, wasn't it? It was a bit of fun. It's a bit of fun, right? Yeah. Yeah, I've put the photo of my dad as best man for Chopper up on my community page as well. I like to bring receipts, you know. I was born into a batshit crazy family, as Thingamajig would know. My stories are true, but I think if I can prove them, it's important that I do. But yeah, my mum and my grandma used to do the hot water trick, but I just went with the Google machine. I went for the first version, and we're going with ice water. Let's see. Wow, hot water is so much easier. Look, you could be right. It's too late now. There's no going back. We'll check in on them anyway and see how we go. So while they're shriveling over there on the bench, let's start getting on with this recipe. Now, according to Yotam, his dad made a lot of beautiful comfort foods and he used to make them semolina and just put butter and Parmesan cheese in it. I don't know how many of you had semolina growing up. I don't remember ever being fed semolina. And then he was looking for a soup recipe that contained semolina and came across a recipe by the famous Israeli chef Rafi Cohen. And it was his Moroccan grandmother's semolina-based soup. Now, apparently, Yotam's Italian grandmother also did a semolina-based soup. So this is Yotam's variation on Rafi Cohen's recipe. But while the tomatoes are chilling out, I'll do the hot water one next time. I never bother peeling them. I don't mind tomato skin. I'm a big fan of leaving skin on. I don't peel carrots. I don't mind a bit of skin in my dishes, but I'm not going to disagree with Yotam ever. So let's start getting everything else ready. Firstly, we need to chop up an onion. Cooking a roast pork and veggies, nice. I mean, I'm allergic to pork, but a roast pork I used to love as a kid. My mum did amazing crackling. But listening to a famous cook, I hope you're listening to someone other than me. I hope I'm on mute and you're listening to a famous cook. Are you into MasterChef thingamajig? You should be. There's a little Tassie girl in it. Sabina. And a beautiful friend of mine, Scott, is also in it. And they're both doing very well. He's in Brisbane. Just pop these over in my little compost bowl. Hey, Ozzy. Hi, Rose. Ozzy's not a fan of tomato, but we'll give it a crack. Yeah, I hope your crackling turns out. I'm sure it will. I'm sure roast pork would be something you've mastered. Just going to chop up some onion, and I'm just going to put this saucepan. He says to use like a medium-sized pan, or saucepan. So I'm just going to start heating that up, and I'm going to put it on a medium temperature. Really help if I turn the right element on. I'm sure your crackling will turn out. So just finely chopping a bit of onion. Bit of a bummer that you're not a fan of tomato, because I think it will be quite tomatoey. Although semolina will be interesting, and apparently we're going to be whisking it into the soup. But apparently, if you get little lumpy bits, you leave them because they almost turn into like little dumplings, and they've got a really nice texture. So I'm curious. It's got some really nice spices and stuff in it too. So, you know, and nothing, I've never made a Yotam Ottolenghi anything that's been yuck ever. So oh, you gave up on MasterChef. We're getting into it. I can't stop watching it. I'm with Scott till the end. I don't know Sabina personally, but I know her parents. I grew up with her mum, and her dad's been in our lives for a long time too. In fact, he shared a house with my sister when they were at uni. So yeah, I can't give up. Oh, and by the way, happy birthday to my beautiful nephew Will. It's his birthday today. I hope he's having a great time in Melbourne, where he now lives, where he's studying. He's doing second-year law. I hope he has an amazing birthday. I doubt that he's going to, like, pop into Auntie Tor's cooking on a Sunday night. Hello, Ruth. I think I said hi to you, Ruth, didn't I? Were you the first one that popped in? I don't think I've ever used semolina for anything. So we're going to put about 3 tablespoons of olive oil in. I'm a bit of a guesser. I've cooked for a long time. I kind of know what 3 tablespoons equates to. If you don't measure it out, just use your little measurement. But we're going to pop some olive oil into the pot and just let that heat up a little bit. While that's heating up a little bit, I'm also just going to chop up a stick of celery. And you just want to roughly chop the celery. I'm pretty rustic in how I cook. Chefs call rustic cooks lazy cooks. And I don't give a shit. Call me lazy. I'm more into chunky anyway. I don't like food where everything is chopped so finely that it sort of almost turns into a soup. Unless it is a soup that you're making, but I like chunky in my soup too. So, but you know, like some foods and sauces and stuff, they chop everything up so finely. It just sort of all turns into this thing, like a sauce. Oh, is it your butthead's birthday too? 6. Oh, cute. Happy birthday, butthead. So we're just chucking the celery and the onion into the pot. And we'll get ourselves a little spoon. Just give that a stir so it's all got the oil and goodness on it. It's on a medium heat. I just turned it up a tiny bit. I'm a bit pedantic with my dials. If it says medium, it's got to be like exactly on the halfway mark. Thingamajig, multitasking on a Sunday night. Well, cheers to you, girl. It's the last of the Wirra Wirra church block and it's going down a treat. But that bottle has lasted me weeks because I bought that for one of the dishes that I made. I like your pun on words, Thingamajig. So we're starting to get a bit of action happening in here now. A bit of sizzling. There's a whole lot of sizzling going on. So we're going to start adding the spices. Firstly, we're going to put some cumin. Now, you're going to go for the ground cumin. If in your spice collection, that's actually coriander seeds. But if you've got cumin seeds, you can grind them up to make them ground. And we're going to put a couple of teaspoons of that in, and I love cumin. Oh, I love it. Or as some people say, cumin, but I think that sounds a little bit rude. 2 teaspoons of that go in the pot. Give that a little bit of a stir. Already smells amazing. Yum. I love cumin. Now back to the grounding things. So the next thing is we're going to put 2 teaspoons of ground coriander. So there's the ground coriander. But if you've got the little seeds and you've got like a little coffee grinder or a spice grinder, you just blitz the crap out of these and they'll turn into this. Magic. But yeah, we want a couple of teaspoons of coriander seed. Give it another bit of a swirl. But that's not the end of the spices, everyone. Next up, some sweet paprika. I love paprika. I always buy it in big tubs because I use a lot of paprika. And we want 1.5 teaspoons. And we want the spice of the sweet paprika, not the smoky. So 1.5. That's also going to add to the colour of our soup. We'll give that a bit of a mix up. Smells amazeballs. Now we're going to add in some thyme, and as you guys know, I do like freezing herbs. I'm not big on wastage of food, so I don't buy any fresh. I mean, these were frozen fresh, but I obviously didn't need the whole amount of time when I cooked something. But until I've used up the frozen herbs, I don't buy any more. And they say 2 teaspoons of finely chopped, just pull out. The beauty of this packet is, I forgot that, there's a heap that's already, in fact, that is about 2 teaspoons in the bag. So I'm just putting that straight in. We're not even going to do any chopping. Perfect. Here is some plucked thyme I prepared earlier. Stir that through. I love thyme too. I love a good thyme. Oh yeah, spice shops are beautiful, aren't they? They do smell incredible. And if you've got like a spice shop and then a shop that makes coffees and you go, oh God, I feel like having a a spicy coffee. So this is kind of absorbing all of the oil and everything now. I'll just show you how we're going over here in the pot. That's sort of what's going. Oh, I fogged up my camera from a distance, Tori, but can you see that sort of mixture happening in there? I'm actually just going to take it off the element for a minute because I've got to chop up some coriander to add as well. And we'll go on the fresh coriander. And it says 50 grams, but I'm not going to measure it. I'm just taking a big fat chunk of it. And we're going to chop that up. Mel, hello. 2040 Tori still using the same coriander. Hey, this is fresh, man. It's fresh. I don't freeze coriander. I don't think coriander freezes well. That's one herb I don't freeze. I don't freeze parsley and I don't freeze basil or basil. Well, it was a good heckle, man. I liked it. Just a reminder, guys, I have started up a Shxtty Kxtty Kxtchen channel. Eventually, all my cooking will be happening over there, so don't forget to head over and subscribe. Shxtty is spelt with an X where the I normally is, so it doesn't get taken down for being rude. I'm actually going to chuck just a bit more in. It is, after all, a tomato and coriander soup. I love coriander if it's finely chopped. If it's just the leaf, ugh, yuck. I'm not a fan of the texture of the leaves, but when you chop it up finely, it's a whole new level of gorgeousness and stomachability. All right, throw a bit more in for good measure. Thanks for popping the links up there, girls. Yeah, it was time from the freezer. Oh, look at the mods giving each other pats on the back for how fast they're learning and how good they're getting at stuff. So yeah, for me, coriander or cilantro, the finer it's chopped, the nicer it is. Now he says to roughly chop it, and I'm like, no, on this occasion, I'm going for fine. Now we're going to use half of what we've chopped and pop it in the pot. And we're going to keep the rest for later, for garnishing. Now this recipe does serve 6 people. I'm not going to put all of this coriander on at the end as a garnish, but when I bundle it up and do some freezing, I'm blocking the light. When I freeze some up for my, you know, like freezer surprise meals or to take to work for lunch or whatever, I'll sprinkle little bits of coriander atop them. All right, where's thingamajig? We're about to see. Oh, I'll just mix that coriander through. I'm just keeping this off the element for the moment. I'm actually going to turn it off because I want to peel these tomatoes. But thingamajig was horrified. She's like, no, do the hot water. Well, I'm a rebel. I went for the ice bath. Oh, yeah, this is going to be an absolute bitch. Huh. I don't recommend the ice water, guys. Ruth, I feel like I can't complain considering the Ronas. You'll go better hit me like a ton of bricks. Mel's got man flu, everybody. Huh. All right. Hot water. Where's thingamajig gone? Does she boil her water or she just puts them in hot water? She's making the gravy. Nice. Thingamajig, do you I told you. Hey, I don't, like I said, I've never peeled a tomato in my friggin' life. Oh, you're chooking the roast sheep on, Governor. Nice, Mel, nice. Me hearties. Do you boil the water thingamajig, or do you just put hot water from the tap? From now on, every Australian creator, whenever they go live, have to break out every now and then in an English/pirate sentence. Roast bar lamb with mince. Boil the water. Cheers, gorgeous. Here's my kettle I packed away earlier. It's going to be a bit of noise pollution, everybody, for a minute or two. This kettle is loud. But it does a nice little ding at the end. So while that's happening, I might as well take the now nearly frozen tomatoes. Yeah, the frozen ice water thing does not work at all. So fuck you, Google, you lie. But this will be the first and last time in my life I will ever peel a friggin' tomato. It could take longer because they're semi-frozen, yes. Don't worry, we'll boil the bejeebus out of them. So while that's happening and there's a bit of extra noise in the kitchen, let's continue on with our soup. So far we've got the olive oil, we've added a finely chopped onion, a celery stick that was roughly chopped, 2 teaspoons of ground coriander, 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, 1.5 teaspoons of sweet paprika, 2 teaspoons of finely chopped thyme, and about 25 grams, whatever the hell that is, of chopped coriander leaves. Now we're going to add the tomato puree. Now I want to talk about this for a minute. This stuff is tomato paste. It is different to tomato puree. If you're lucky enough to have nonnas in your family, when they're making their passata, which is a lighter tomato sauce, they also sometimes will have a pot which they boil and reduce it right down, and that is the puree. Now it's not as deep as and intense as a paste. It's the middle. So you've got the paste, the puree, and then passata. Now I spent about $5 in petrol to go to the next town to buy, this. Because this matters. Hello, Mojo. Oh, wait a minute. Hello, Governor. Pirate. Arr. I forgot. I've got to speak Australian when you're in here, Mojo. Arr. You probably have no idea what I'm talking about. Someone can fill Mojo in if she doesn't know about how Australians speak. So we're just going to open this little fucker. Is that why God invented tin tomato? Well, tin tomato soup even, yes. But I like cooking from scratch, so. Good to have you here though, Deb. But live cooking. This lid is being an absolute bitch. The can of puree exactly. I'm just taking this off screen for a moment. I need to use some brute force. Okay. So what we're going to do is put a couple of tablespoons of the puree into this little mix of spices and everything. No, Joe, you can't come into another Australian channel and say, Mel Mel, my favourite Aussie. What the fuck? Sweet dreams, Mel Mel. Bloody hell. All right, I'm about to cover the tomatoes in boiling hot water. We're putting Thingamajig's method to the test now. I trust her. I trust her. I'm just not from the world of people who can be bothered peeling tomatoes. That's really what it boils down to. So we're just going to chuck into, just before this gets too char grilled, a couple of tablespoons of the puree, and I'm just going to give that a really good stir. And he says to stir for a minute, so we're doing that. But then after this, we're adding the tomatoes. Once we've skinned those little fuckers. I'm glad I went early a few minutes. Earlier than planned. Now, don't worry that I've got a heap of this stuff left because I made the most beautiful, Tory of, I can see right through you, Mojo. Arr, me hearties, I'm a buccaneer. Arr, ahoy there, me hearties. I made a Rogan Josh lamb shanks yesterday in the slow cooker. Now, those of you who use slow cookers, or mine's a fast slow cooker, it doesn't thicken up sauces because you don't have a lid off to reduce it. So after I made the shanks, I reduced down a few ladle spoons of the sauce and thickened it. So when it went on the Rogan Josh shanks, wait till you see the pictures. It's amazing. Scott and I loved it, although he only gave me an 8.5 out of 10. I'm really disappointed in him. I gave it a 523 out of 10. Anyway, I've still got the leftover sauce that I didn't reduce. So what I'm actually going to do is I'll be adding this to it as well, but I'm going to pan fry some onions and garlic. Pardon me. I made a roast chicken the other night. I'm going to shred off some of the chicken. I'm going to add it into the pan with some extra vegetables, and then I'm going to add the Rogan Josh sauce that I've still got, and I'll chuck this in as well. And I'll be making myself some yummy Rogan Josh chicken curry. Does Steph know what she started? I don't know. There's two Aussies that try and bully you. So screw them. And one American. So, well, that's shit. That's shit, man. Mel Mel can be your favourite. I just want someone, when Mel Mel decides to start going live again, I want someone to go into her chat and talk about how fabulous I am and say I'm their favourite Aussie. Because I get a lot of Mel Mel loving in here, which is fabulous. Fucking fantastic. But I don't think she gets nearly as much Tory loving going on in her channel, if you know what I mean. Oh my God, thingamajig. You're right. These skins are peeling like an absolute dream. You don't have to say nice things to me. Dude, it's all right. It's coming off. It's already appealing. I'll take one out and have a crack at it. They may need a few more minutes, but these are the next things I need to put. Look at this. Look at this. Woo. I personally think that it was a combo. I think the freezing loosened everything and brought on some shrinkage, and then the searing the fuck out of them with boiling hot water made them lift off. Because there's you saying I might need to do a bit more boiling water. Well, no, I don't. I don't want to get this on my laptop, but this little tomato has peeled like an absolute dream. It is naked as the day it was born, even though it was born with skin. Fucking hot, though. Look at Mojo with all the compliments. I love Rogan Josh. Yeah, me too. It's a beautiful curry. Really good one for people who like spicy food but don't like chili hot food, because Rogan Josh, what makes it spicy, or sorry, what makes it have so full-bodied and has so much flavour is a heap of spices as opposed to a shitload of chili. So, I mean, it is a medium heat curry paste, but it's not a chili-based one. It's a spice-based one. And it's really divine. I do a beautiful curry as well for a salmon curry. And that's really full-bodied too, and not because of chili, but because it's got heaps of herbs in it. And that's an amazing one. So look, guys, little boiled tomatoes. I mean, I have absolutely no sensation left in my fingers now. I've got frostbite and third-degree burns at the same time, but, you know, I'm still upright and talking. How many people are you feed? How many meals do you have to cook tonight? Well, that's all I'll need from you, I think, Thingamajig. You can just sit back and enjoy. And I hope your crackling is sublime. Third peeled tomato. Cooking isn't fun if you don't slice a finger open or burn the fuck out of your hand. Let's be honest. I'm in it for the danger. I'm not here to fuck spiders. I'm here for action. The freezing water is to stop the burning fingers peeling too. It's actually not that bad. My hands are so tough from handling hot things in the kitchen. I don't know if other people who cook a lot are a bit desensitized. I mean, trust me, I know when I've burnt myself. This is just hot. Fourth boiled tomato sitting in the bowl. Last one, everybody. Thingamajig. Nice tip. I've got a feeling that the freeze the fuck out of them. Ow, this one's a hot little prick. Let's just move this out of the way. Straight into the sink, which has some detergent in it for doing the dishes a bit later on. What's a bit of tomato jizz in your dishwater, you know, just a little bit of jizz. It doesn't hurt. Oh, you burnt your finger on the oven last week again. Yeah, look, it's all part of the joy of it. No pain, no gain, guys. Fifth boiled tomato sitting on the board. Look at that. And that, my friends, can go in your compost or throw it over the fence into your neighbour's garden if you don't like them. Chickens would love this shit. Chickens would dig this shit. I swear to God, though, that is the first and last time I will ever peel tomatoes. But I've got to say, that boiling water trick was a ripper. Thingamajig, go, you good thing, go. So we're going to now whack this back on and turn the heat back on. And we're going to, he says finely chop, but you all know how I feel about that. I'm just going to chop them. Take those little middle chunky bits out. They're no good. We don't want those bits. They're slippery little suckers now. Much harder to cut when they don't have any skin on them. Just a bit of intel. But yeah, I don't know if Steph knows what she's started with her impersonated an Australian. But I think if every Australian YouTube creator does a live speaking English like Cockney and pirate at the same time, and then just flip over to like Chinese or French or Vietnamese or Mongolian or German, whatever, and then do a little bit of real Aussie bogan and then go back to the pirate, like it'll just confuse everyone. God, they're slippery little suckers. You didn't warn me about that thingamajig. You didn't say, oh, by the way, once naked, you'll think they're going to fly across the room when you're cutting them. I'm not finely chopping at the moment. I am roughly chopping. And then I'll give them a couple of smashes. You like a bit of Cockney pirate? I like a bit of pirate cock. I didn't say that. Who's that rude person in my kitchen? Get out now. Filthy bastard. Hello, Sunny Bunny. She answers to filthy bastard. Interesting. The cat's quite unique. She just walked on through the kitchen, walked past me and just gave me a look like, you are insane. I was like, yeah, it takes one to know one. She's insane. How many 9-year-old cats want to be chased around the house from the second their owners walk in the door till they go to bed at night? Like, I'm talking 3-4 hours. It's craziness. This chopping board is far too tiny. I'm just going to get the coriander off the big board and I'm going to do a bit of switcheroo so I can smash the crap out of these tomatoes. She was throwing when she was doing her Australian accent. She also mentioned throwing tomatoes. Tomatoes here. Keep an eye on this spicy, amazingly flavoured thing. You don't want to burn it. We had a bit of a delay because of the tomato skinning. We just live skinned 5 innocent tomatoes. It's been murder in the kitchen. Hello, Scout Inquirer, beautiful girl. Oh, she did, Mojo. You'll love it. I heard it on Wendy V's. I think she did the live on Friday night with Blue Topaz and The Truth. But I think it's called Drama Vault is where you can hear the short version of it, but it's pretty funny. This to me is a finely chopped tomato. They're so slippery, and anyway, I want them to go in. Oh, she thought she was impersonating Blue Topaz and Wendy V, but then Blue Topaz was like, you can call me a drunk, you can call me a slut, but don't call me a fucking Australian, because she called them both Australians. And we all know Blue Topaz is a very proud Kiwi. But it was fun. It was entertaining. I'm all for the funny shit on YouTube these days. If it's not funny, I don't want to know about it. All right, so we've just put in our skinned tomatoes. They're not finely chopped because I like a bit of chunky soup, especially tomatoes. It's not like if you put a piece of tomato that big in your mouth that you're going to choke on it or break a tooth. I mean, they're the softest, moistest thing around, pretty much. So that's all now looking. It's going to be quite a thick soup, judging from where we are at the moment. We're going to season with some salt and pepper. Go hard or go home with seasoning. Can't handle how political correctness even made its way into the kitchen about people not cooking with salt. There's nothing worse than going to someone's house for dinner and they don't have any salt or pepper in their house. I always I've got a little salt and pepper combined. I've got it at work at the moment. Like it's salt and pepper in one little thing. I carry my own seasoning. I mean, no, you don't want to have 8 tablespoons of salt in your dish. But please, for the love of God, season it a little bit. Like most Americans think us Pommies have a British accent. Well, I mean, there aren't any countries on the planet now that are multicultural where everyone has the same accent. So we've added the tomato puree, we've added the tomatoes, we've added salt and pepper. We're going to cook it for a few more minutes, and then we're going to add 1.5 litres of water. So I'll give it like another minute to... the recipe on the other side of this book is called Tomato Party. Wow. Let's make tomatoes sound hot and fun. Tomato Party. So your 1.5 litres of water. In the pot now. Now it's not looking like a thick and heavy soup. Okay, so that's the other 1/2 litre. How cute's this little measuring jug? This little enamel. It's got the little measurements in there. It's one of my favourite things. I agree, Deb. Even restaurants under-season food. Now, I know, and God forbid if you sort of say, you got any salt? They look at you like you're offending the chef. It's like, well, season your food, motherfuckers. So we're going to add that, and weirdly, we're now going to add 1.5 tablespoons of caster sugar. That's to offset the tomato and give the soup a bit of a sweet flavour. I just cleaned off my measuring cups. Spoons, but yeah, 1.5 tablespoons of caster sugar, which is that super fine sugar you often bake with. I don't know what you Americans call it. Am I having poppadoms? No. No, not with this. I'm actually, because there's semolina in the soup, which is a wheat derivative, you do get your carbs like that. So you wouldn't even necessarily need to serve this with bread, because it's going to have like a bit of a, you know, like a dumplingy kind of thing happening in the soup as well, apparently. Allegedly, and for entertainment purposes only. I was going to make some toasted sandwiches just with some roast chicken and some cheese and stuff, but I reckon I'm going to be happy just with the soup. I think the semolina is going to make the soup have enough, you know, stuff in it that you don't need to put anything else. I'm just going to bring this up to the boil, groovers. And then it's going to actually have to simmer for about 20 minutes. So we're going to basically be simmering the soup till about 7 o'clock. But in the meantime, I'm going to get everything else ready. And we can just have a bit of a chat while that's simmering. It's just to let all those beautiful spices and herbs infuse into with the tomatoes and so on. This cooker is like yours, easy, clean, lol, because it's not very clean, is it? I clean while I cook. Like normally, if I wasn't live right now, I'd be doing all the dishes. But because of where the laptop is and I want to read chat and stuff, I can't. But normally now, while we're simmering for 20 minutes, this is when I'd clean up the kitchen. I could get my phone happening, actually, and put the... Why don't I do that? You'll just have to be looking at a board for a few... I don't know if the microphone will pick me up over there while I'm doing the dishes, so... Come on, soup. Get up to boil. But yeah, let's see if I can read chat in here. Live chat. I'm just doing something funny. Well, I think it's funny. You might disagree. There's a few things that are amusing me a lot at the moment on my channel, and this is one of them. The second it stops amusing me, I'm turning them off. But I should have, oh, it was a super sticker. I should have said, "You're the best cook in Tasmania," but then Thingamajig would have to send one back going, "No, you're not. It's not even 4 a.m. Hi, yep, so what? Making you hungry. You better sleep before you watch." It's really smelling pretty amazing in here, I've got to say. I'll bring it over so I can show you. Bring the camera over so you can see what's going on. So the problem with this camera is it doesn't pick up colours very well. It doesn't really complement what the food really looks like. But you'll see a lot of the herbage floating around in there. The tomatoes. It's got a kind of an orange reddy colour to it. I did Google photos of this recipe and all of the bowls of soup look quite brown, which is why I didn't put a photo up. I don't think it's going to be the prettiest soup in the yard, but it's probably going to be one of the tastiest. But it's nearly at the boil, so once that's boiling, I'm going to... You're still listening? Well, you have the winning tip today, so I think you win best cook in this live. Well, at least when it comes to peeling tomatoes, you win. I thought this had tomato paste in it too, but it doesn't. I had run out of tomato paste. I used my last little sachet doing the Rogan Josh. Actually, I can show you a photo of it. Let's do that. Yeah, everyone thinks they're purple, but they're not. They're red. That just shows how stuffed up the camera is, because yeah, they look purple, but they're not. They're red. I don't know why it looks purple on the camera, but it does give you an idea of how distorted the color is, which isn't great for cooking. Because I make stuff and it looks really pretty. This is the Rogan Josh I made last night, and this is not a photo from the recipe book. This is my house, my plates. Look at it, guys. Look at it. Look at it. So it's a lamb shank with my world famous mashed potato, green beans, and then the Rogan Josh. Now it is actually Rogan Josh looked more orange. This camera is making it look bright red. It's not actually that bright. It's more of that beautiful, rich, orangey curry colour. But when I do my little, when I finish editing my video, that's the other plate. How good is that, guys? But when I do my little edited video, you'll be able to see how it looks. This is making this look like the tomato soup should look, and the tomato soup is looking like the colour this is. But man, it was good. I took lots of photos because I wanted a couple for the end of my video, which is about 78% edited now. They look like an 80s disco. The hot plates. Yeah, they're red, so it's weird. I don't know why they come up looking like that. I might just hope that the microphone picks me up enough to just pop over and do a bit of cleaning, because we haven't got a lot to do. This is nearly at the boil now. We've got to measure out some semolina, and that's pretty much it. So I think I might do some kitchen cleaning. Is everyone else tired? Has everyone else had a big weekend and they just want to put their feet up and watch some telly with some comfort food like this soup? The cooker looks normal for you. It looks red for you? Really? How does that work? It's getting weirder and weirder. I swear to God. Yeah, I reckon I should do a bit of dishes. What do you Grievous think? I'll stand over where the microphone will have to pick me up and you can tell me if you can hear me or not. What's the sound like from over here, Groovers? Great time to run in front of me, Sonny. Oh, sweet, crazy. I had so much fun with that live. So it sounds great when I'm over there. Okay, cool. Well, I just thought because I'm going to have my back to the microphone, it may not pick me up, but I just think it'd be cool to do some of the dishes. All right, so this is now boiling like a bitch. So I'm just putting that down to a simmer. Hey, Google, set an alarm for 20 minutes. 7:06 p.m. Brilliant. We'll be whisking in the semolina and that needs about 10 minutes and then we serve it up. So I will be sitting down with my beautiful bowl of soup to MasterChef right on time. Because you're right on time. I feel like I should put something here for you to watch. I'm just putting my chat up on my phone. We're making soup. We're making a Yotam Ottolenghi tomato, semolina and coriander soup. But at the end, actually what we can do, I've just thought of it. I won't wait till the end because I'll run out of time and forget to do it. Yotam Ottolenghi is my favourite chef. And I make a lot of his food, especially like vegetable stuff. He's not a vegetarian, but he does make a lot of amazing vegetable things. Veggies are his favourite ingredient. So I've been cooking out of his book, Plenty, which this recipe is from. But a lot of his followers said that they found a lot of his recipes had, too many ingredients and hard to source things and so on. So he put out a book a couple of years ago called Simple. And it is simple for the most part, and it is the sort of stuff you would find in most pantries, but it's still pretty fancy schmancy at times. And when I made the lamb shanks for Scott and I last night, I did a recipe out of this book. Donna Hay, who I love. I'm a mad keen cook, but this chick does recipes with like 5 ingredients and things just taste unbelievable. And I've never made a Donna Hay recipe that hasn't been incredibly good. And she doesn't always use a lot of ingredients. And I thought it might be fun for us to keep cooking the book, but we'll cook this book for a little while. I'm trying to find her Rogan Josh lamb shanks that I did last night. But I thought, I'll do Donna for a little while. And then when I was at the supermarket, they put out a monthly magazine, which is all sort of family cooking as well. But it's affordable and easy to source ingredients and all that sort of stuff. So I thought we could maybe move on to that and try and that's a free magazine that people can pick up at Coles supermarkets in Australia. So I thought we could do some stuff out of one of those magazines as well. But I've got heaps of cookbooks. Now I can't find the lamb shanks. Lamb. Did I not do them from this book? Oh yes, 98. But this was a slow cooker recipe, so the reason I didn't go live is because we would have just been sitting in my kitchen talking for 6 hours while it cooked. Popcorn's good. So that's Donna's Rogan Josh. That's what I made last night. She served with I did actually make tzatziki as well because Scotty doesn't like super spicy food. And he loved it. He had some tzatziki and she's just done like a little herb salad on the side. You could also do rice with it, but we did mashed potato and beans because I didn't make it super curry hot. I molded it down, so it was actually really yummy with the mashed potato and the beans. But what I was thinking was bit of audience participation is to guess a page number, and whatever it lands on will cook unless it's pork, eggplant or olives. You do need a Coles magazine. I should get your address, Ruth, and send you them. They're so good. Like, they're free and they've got heaps of awesome recipes. Oh, Deb's gone in first at 16. Okay. I was going to say, I think it's between 1 and 100 and... give me a sec because there's a glossary. 189. So obviously you have like desserts are usually, and baking and stuff's usually at the back of the book. And I'm down for that too. But page 16, and I'm going to pick the first recipe. Oh, well, no, actually, I'm going to let you guys vote. Page 16's got 3 recipes on it. And the choices are these, and you've got to vote in chat. You might want to hear for all 3 options. The first option is Greek lemon yogurt skewers, and that's using chicken thighs. So it's a chicken thigh Greek lemon yogurt skewer. The second one is tarragon and lemon roasted chicken, and it's not a whole chicken, it's chicken pieces. And the last one is crispy cauliflower pasta. So if you like one, which is the chicken Greek lemon yogurt skewers, put a 1 in chat. If you want me to do tarragon and lemon roasted chicken, put a 2. And if you want me to do crispy cauliflower pasta, put a 3. Vote now. Okay, Deb's going for the skewers. I'll just see if there's photos. All right, so this is what the Greek lemon yogurt skewers look like. Hello, Tori's 800th subscriber. You have to change your name now. I'm over 1,000. We did it, Geraldine. We did it. So these are what the chicken skewers look like, and they're obviously served with a yogurt dressing and a little crunchy celery salad. Oh, another vote for this one, for the skewers. This is the tarragon and lemon roasted chicken. And this is the crispy cauliflower pasta. But so far we've got 2 votes for 1. Hang on. Deb said the first one. 1. All right, so for 1 vote, then there's 2 2s. All 3, please. They also, well, it looks like the skewers have won, Groovers. It looks like the skewers have won. So next Sunday night, we're going to be making these beautiful looking chicken skewers that have the Greek yogurt dipping sauce, and then this beautiful little crunchy mint and celery salad. That's what we're going to be doing. I vote for the red. Huh? Deb, what are you drinking? Sorry, Mojo. You'll have to be with me next Sunday when we do another random page number and you can pick 16 again. I'm not doing a whole bloody baked chicken thing and chicken skewers. Oh, the red, my drink. Ah, gotcha. Enjoy dinner thingamajig. How did the crackling go? I hope it worked really well. And the chicken skewers definitely. See, look at all these votes for the chicken skewers. So, yeah, I'm going to do some. Number 1 looks great. We'll be cooking lots of shit, guys. Don't you worry about that. But I want to do some recipes where it's not going to cost you a bomb to make them. They're going to be really easy. And the thing about Donna Hay that blows people away is she hardly she doesn't use many ingredients at all, and yet you get these incredible meals that are so like restaurant quality delicious. Really easy to make, really pretty. You need wine, sweet crazy? Here you go, dolls. Have a sip. Have a beautiful evening, thingamajig. Thank you so much for popping in, gorgeous. See you later. Me hearty. Arr, rawr. Oh, I've turned into a hey. Top of the morning to you, thingamajig. Enjoy your dinner. Like the pork. See, I told you I start to sound a bit Indian or Pakistani. Can't do accents. Can do an Australian accent really well. An Australian accent, not a Steph Australian accent. I can do that one really well. So, we're abandoning doing the dishes. I washed up one chopping board. Let's measure up this semolina. This is going to be the theatre of the dish. For this part of the dish, you will need a whisk. And semolina, which I don't think I've ever cooked with before. You will find semolina in like the aisle in your shop where the flowers are. It's usually sitting, and it was, right next to where all the flowers were. Look at this though, semolina from the crushed heart of wheat. From the crushed heart of wheat. So not only did we murder some tomatoes, we are now going to be cooking with the crushed heart of wheat. I'm going to be cooking broken-hearted wheat hearts. I feel mean. But yes, on the back there's a couple of recipes. This recipe on this one is semolina apple flan. You can make an apple flan with semolina. But because I haven't cooked with it before, I might even give the apple flan a go. And because it's a baking thing, I'll make it and I'll do a little video because I like to use up things when I buy them. So I'll be making their recommended apple flan. But things that need to bake for a while and stuff like that, it's much easier for me to just make them and do a little video. But the apple flan won't be done until I've finished doing the Rogan Josh lamb shanks. So much going on, girls. I've got to do my Traces of Sleepy Faces tomorrow. I've got to do the first episode of season 3 of the Smooth Criminal podcast tomorrow. And I've also got to do my little video highlighting another YouTube creator. Good night, lovely thingamajig. Smash this recipe. You're being mean. It was just peeling the tomatoes. I've nailed all the other bits. And you're going to miss the highlight of the night, the theatre with me whisking semolina. So I'm just going to get out my little scale because we need 150 grams. And this bag is 500 grams. Now, you could guess, but I don't want too little or too much semolina because it's not something I'm familiar with. I love these bowls. They're by Dinosaur Designs, but they're like a little bit translucent. So when you put them on your scale, you can actually see the weight through the bowl. I got given 2 of them for my 40th birthday, and I love them. They're 14 years old and still going strong. So we're just going to weigh 150 grams of the semolina. $154, that'll do. It's a very fine, crushed heart of lots of wheat. All those broken-hearted wheats, they have their hearts crushed into this beautiful, light-looking thing. But we're going to be whisking that into the soup when the timer goes off in about 6 minutes. That's all we've basically got to do. We're going to have to add it in a slow stream as you whisk vigorously and then cook it for another 10 minutes, whisking occasionally to avoid lumps. But the recipe says don't worry if you do get some. After all, they will turn into little dumplings with an appealing texture. I like the way Yotam writes his recipes. It's like reading a lovely little book. But it's not as thick as I thought it was going to be. Nigella's got all the moves and all the words, and she's so sexy. I'm just a little Australian in me kitchen. Arr, buccaneer, buccaneer. But what it does is it's like a flour. So I think when we add it, it's obviously going to thicken the soup, but it's also going to add this carbohydrate, sort of wheaty texture, I guess. And yeah, if you get little lumps of it, apparently they're like little dumplings and they've got a really nice texture. So we're all learning about this shit together. But hey, Yotam does mention that his dad used to just cook semolina with butter and Parmesan cheese for the kids. Like it was one of the meals they would have. I've got a feeling Mel was talking about semolina in my live last week when I was talking about the polenta dumplings that I made my niece with the spicy beans. That was an amazing recipe. I cooked all these beautiful beans and herbs and spices, and then on top I made this polenta cottage cheese mix, and it sort of went on top in little spoonfuls, but then when it cooked they all plumped up and turned into these beautiful dumplings. It was great. Hey, Sunny Bunny. She's walked off, otherwise I would have picked her up and put her face right in the camera. She's getting used to me going live. She just does her own thing. And then when MasterChef starts, she knows the opening theme and she kind of knows that I'm going to be watching and tweeting and stuff. But then when the closing credit music comes on, that's when zoomies start. It's very cute. Yeah, the beans, I'll do that too. That's another Donna Hay recipe. She put out for a little while, a few years, magazines called Fresh and Light, and they're really amazing recipes. Like there's a recipe for nachos, but it's actually cold and it's got shredded chicken and you do corn and it's got like a jalapeno sauce. Oh my God, it is so good. So good. But that's a really beautiful summery dish. It's got lime in it and no cheese or sour cream or anything like that. It's just all healthy, but they're as good as, if people out there that love their nachos, when I do that recipe, I recommend you try it. It's so good. Three more minutes before we have to start whisking in the semolina. I might just wash a couple of dishes. Makes a difference. Oh, the other thing we're going to do is put some Greek yogurt on top as a garnish. So I'm going to get that out. Nearly grabbed the coconut yogurt. That would have been a mistake. And the other thing is he does mention it's optional, but you can also add some lemon juice into the soup as well, and I love lemons. And I just happened to have half a lemon that was sitting around the fridge. So I thought I might as well chuck him in too. I thought I had another lemon, but I don't. He says to add like 1.5 tablespoons of lemon juice. You normally get about a tablespoon of lemon juice out of a lemon, depending on how juicy they are. But yeah, that'll add a nice bit of tang to it as well. It's almost, it's time to whisk in this semolina. Unfortunately, I don't have someone who can hold the camera while I do it. You subbed, Sweet Crazy? Thank you. Oh, to the Shxtty Kxtty Kxtchen channel. Thank you, because, yeah, I'll be moving all my cooking over there. I think it's good to have a focus channel. I know, guys, it's a bit boring just listening to me chat while I'm and you're looking at some things. Sorry about that. I have lost a few people watching, but that's fine. Semolina was such a 70s school dinner pudding served with a dollop of strawberry jam. Well, there you go. Well, I'm going to do the apple flan recipe. Who doesn't like a flan? That's on the back of the semolina. Because I'm very big on, if you've bought something for a recipe, finding another recipe that uses that ingredient so you don't, in a year's time, when you're cleaning out your pantry, you find all these expired bags of things that you didn't use. And if something comes with a recipe on the back, I'll give it a crack. I'm just turning up the simmer a little bit so it's got a bit of a rolling simmer happening. I don't know if that'll make a difference or not. But what we're going to do is pour the semolina in a slow stream while whisking vigorously. So I'll try and make it as action shotty as I can. I'll just get my kettle out of the way. Hey Google, stop. Okay guys, it's semolina time. So I'm basically whisking away and I'm just going to start, I don't think you guys can see this, but I'm pouring it in a slow but steady stream whilst whisking vigorously. Well, it didn't froth up or anything like that. I can already feel that it's thickened the soup pretty significantly. So that's in and it's whisked in, and we're now going to let that cook for another 10 minutes. Giving it a little whisk every now and then. So I'll show you what it looks like now, guys. It's very much changed the demeanour, the appearance of the soup. So it's gone more sort of creamy looking, less... Ow! Oh, luckily they didn't hit the... I'm just going to turn it down a little bit because it's making a mess. So it's definitely got a more creamy looking colour to it. It's bubbling away there. And it's definitely thickened it up as well. And it's kind of like a little volcano at the moment, just doing big, bubbly, it's like going, that's what it's doing right now. Just giving it another whisk. Oh, it's so thick now. I mean, you would not want to serve bread or anything with this. It's almost like a casserole thickness. Hey Google, set a timer for 8 minutes. I only do that because, thank you. I only do that because I start talking and then I forget and I'm like, oh shit, I was meant to do whatever. Looks like pumpkin soup. It does kind of. It's not as orange. It's more of an apricot colour. I remember semolina pudding with jam. I actually liked it. It was new to me. Nothing like it in Africa when I was a child. Yeah, look, I honestly can't recall ever having semolina. I honestly think this is the first time I've had it. But I'll bring it over again so you guys can check it out. It's not as bright orange as a pumpkin soup, and it's the spices and everything. I can still, like, the aromas coming out of this pot are amazing. Oh, you like this spot, Scout? Thank you. When I did my video when I was making the Rogan Josh, I tried to move the camera, and I've actually left a few bloopers in because at one point you can see my boots and nothing else. And it was so hard to do it. And I was like, Tori, you watch Sandra Ruchek's cooking channel, and she has the camera pretty much set like this. Simply Sarah does a little, hi, it's Simply Sarah at the start, and then it's like this. It's just easier until I get a cameraman or someone. Like if I've got someone staying with me and they're happy to do it, My niece Jemima probably would have the other night when she stayed here. So thank you, Scout. That's really nice feedback. What other soups can I try adding semolina to? I don't know. I think because this is a tomato soup and it's got all these beautiful spices, that if the semolina gives it a bit of that sort of carby density and flavour, you'd need something fairly light like tomatoes. I really don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he says that his Moroccan grandmother, this Rafi Cohen, whose recipe he's adapted, his Moroccan grandmother made a semolina-based soup, and also Yotam's Italian grandmother. So, yeah, look, I really don't know. What I'm going to do is I will be having a big bowl of soup for dinner, but just for the purposes of the live, I'm just going to do like a little sampler, like a little taster bowl, so that it's not boiling hot and I can have a couple of mouthfuls and let you know how I feel about it. But I normally would serve my soup in a bigger bowl than that. But I have these little bowls, like the Japanese style of eating is to have like 4 or 5 of these smaller bowls and you put little servings in them. It's sort of the ikigai style of eating. And little plates, and then you have them all in front of you and you just savor and enjoy the smaller servings on each little plate. So I have like my breakfast coconut yogurt with a sprinkle on top, whatever I use, like my granola or that Persian sprinkle that I got at the farmer's market, which is amazing, in this sort of bowl, like a little bowl. That's my breakfast amount. I don't have big bowls like we used to have when we were kids. Possibly. I mean, when I taste it, I'll let you know what other soups I reckon it'll work with. I'm going to give it another whisk. He did say to whisk it occasionally, and I can see there are a few little dumpling lumps, and I don't want to break them up. I want to have a little dumpling taste. It's thickened it. I mean, it's kind of, it is a flour, so it has thickened it definitely. Oh, you love this little dish? This is actually, I know a lot of people will go, oh, no, not her. This is actually a range of little bowls and plates and big-sized plates and bowls that Ellen DeGeneres put out through Royal Dalton. And they're my absolute favourites. And I've given so many people sets of these as gifts because they also have little plates as well, and there's 4 different designs. So there's the different designs on these ones. There's 2 others, but I've also got the bread plates in that stuff. I started collecting it for a while because she also did a range of mugs to go with it too. So this is like my favorite. I've got a few of her mugs, but this is one of them. Again, it's a Royal Dalton. Be amazing. And then this little love one is one of hers as well. And I also have the Christmas ones. And I never pack this one away because I love peace, but that's one of the Christmas. So I had peace, joy. I can't even remember what the other 2 were, but they were like the Christmas ones. But yeah, they're gorgeous. But I've given quite a few people those as like 50th birthday presents and a wedding present, an engagement present. They're super cute. I'm trying to find my ladle. Oh, I've already got it out. That's how organised I am. I love rice pudding. I love rice pudding. Deb, you can get them at Habitat or whatever it's called now. They're not cheap, but they're worth it. What's Habitat called now? Miramax? Or something stupid. It sounds like a cinema. Yeah, everyone I've given them to, they've absolutely loved them. They're so beautiful. I'll show you the other ones, the other designs. So yeah, there's the other one I showed you in the plate, but in the bowl version. This is my least favourite one out of the 4. But it's still gorgeous. And then this one. And then, yeah, I've got the little tiny plates, and then I've also got these in the bread plates as well. So that's the bread plate size. They're gorgeous. And yeah, everyone I've given them to has absolutely loved them. So despite Ellen's fall from grace, she did a good range of Royal Doulton bowls and plates and mugs. Okay, we're nearly done. We will be ready to go with MasterChef fairly soon. But yeah, what I'll do is I'll put it in that little bowl so I can have a couple of mouthfuls and taste it for you. When the timer goes off of this, we're just going to, you can add some more water if it's too thick, and then have a little taste, do a bit more seasoning if necessary. It'll always be habitat for us, yes, Deb. Add the lemon juice and more seasoning if required, and then we're going to do a little yogurt and I'll do a little miniature garnish and everything so you can see what it looks like in the bowl. Hey Google, stop. Okay, so she's good to go. It is pretty thick, guys. Let me just show you. Now, if you were cooking this without going live on YouTube, you probably would have this all done and cooked in an hour max. Like, the longest thing was letting it cook for that 20 minutes. So it's quite a thick soup. You can add more water if you want to thin it out a bit, but I'm going to try it as it is, and then after I've tried it, I'll decide if I'm going to add some more water or not. But I am definitely going to add the lemon juice. And in fact, because I don't have another fresh lemon, and I love lemon, I'm actually going to, because he says to put like, what was it? 1.5 tablespoons. I'm just going to top it up with a bit of lemon, you know, lemon juice out of the bottle. I didn't check my lemons. I've always got lemons here and I didn't check them before I went to the shop. I was like, no, I've run out of fresh lemon. Are you kidding me? All right, I'm just going to have a little taste to see if it needs more seasoning. It's hot as buggery, guys. It's so hot. Yeah, the lemon juice will thin it out a bit. I'm a cooking girl. A friend of mine said to me years ago, baking is a science, cooking is an art. I'm a cook. You're the scientist in the gang. But I will do some baking. I make really good chilled desserts. Like I make beautiful creme brulees and panna cottas and things like that. And I like making cookies and stuff. But in terms of, and I make muffins, but cakes are not my forte. I'm going to add, there's enough salt in it, but I'm going to add some more pepper. Quite a bit. I like a bit of pepper, can you tell? Just mix that through. I'll put some in a little bowl. I'll see if I can find a little semolina dumpling thing. I can't tell. I mean, there's little lumpy things in there that look white. It's not doing the colour justice, but it's still not the prettiest coloured soup, I've got to say. It's kind of a browny orange colour, which is exactly what it looked like when I Googled to find an image to use, because there's no image in his book. They all looked brown and pretty bad, which is why I didn't end up using a photo I found online. But that's just clearly the nature of this soup. Bit of fresh coriander. So if you were serving this up in a big bowl for your guests, you would I've just put a blob of Greek yogurt and some of that fresh coriander that we didn't put in the when we were cooking the soup. And I would normally also put some more cracked pepper on top. It's piping hot, so I'm just going to let it cool down a little bit. But I mean, although it's kind of an orange brownie color, it's got a really nice consistency for me. It's not too chunky, but it's not super runny either. Like, I'm quite happy with it. I don't think you'd need, I mean, you could definitely have some flatbreads with this, or, you know, little buns that you cook in the oven or whatever with it if you wanted to. But I reckon this is going to be dense and rich enough that it doesn't need it. And I'll see if I can find a semolina dumpling. But let me try it. Oh, wow. So, okay, the semolina has got a definite flavour. It's not just about thickening it like a flour. It has a flavour. It's a really nice, like, it is a bit sort of, probably looks a bit gelatinous. I mean, it's kind of wobbly, but it's not, it doesn't feel like gelatinous in your mouth. It has got a really nice texture. The semolina has added texture to it, but it's very fine. It's not like if you added a couscous or something and you'd really pick up on the grains. But no, it's really delicious. I think it'll be even more beautiful tomorrow because I think all of the spices and herbs and everything will really settle. Obviously, I've put fresh coriander on top, so I'm getting a lot of coriander flavour. But it's quite a subtle, like it's not a super spicy. It's really good. I'd probably give it, as far as the soup goes, it's not my favourite soup I've ever made. The lemon is really beautiful. It does cut through. The tomatoes are beautiful as well. Like, you can still get little crunchy bits of tomato in a spoonful. The semolina, what does it taste like? Hang on, I'll try and get a mouthful that doesn't have the beautiful tangy Greek yogurt and the fresh coriander. It's not an overpowering taste. It's kind of a wheaty taste, but it's nowhere near as strong as, like, you can pick up wheat in bread, the taste. It's not that strong. It's really subtle. And texturally, even though you can taste the semolina in there with the texture as well, it's really fine and light. It's not lumpy. It's not grainy. It's really good. It's beautiful. I'd probably give it, and I'm going to be sensible tonight, I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10. Like, it's not the best soup I've ever made. I make some pretty wicked soups. There's a lentil yogurt and lemon soup that I'll make one time with you guys. It is so good. I think that's even a Donna Hay recipe, funny enough. But, yeah, it's not a 10 out of 10 soup. I reckon tomorrow I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. I think the flavours are still a bit young and they haven't fully sort of developed. I think the soup tomorrow will be a 9 or even a 9.5. But in terms of having a soup with a bread, you wouldn't. I personally wouldn't. I'm getting enough of that wheat carb weight to this dish. So, yeah, Yotam always suggests what you should serve things with, and he hasn't said to serve it with anything, and I can see why. It's almost like you're having your bread at the time you're having the soup, if you know what I mean, without them being croutons. But, yeah, if you love your cooking, I thoroughly recommend it. It's really affordable. I mean, tomatoes, the semolina wasn't expensive. Most of the things that we used I had in my pantry. I did buy some fresh coriander. I did have to get the tomato puree. I don't know whether or not that, I probably would have been amazing without the tomato puree. I probably could have just put tomato paste in, to be honest. But as a result of having to get the puree, I ended up doing a 2-hour live talking in a bad Cockney/pirate accent. So, you know, But yeah, I thoroughly recommend it, guys. I've got 5 minutes till MasterChef starts. Thank you so much for hanging out. Sorry I didn't get my face tonight, but it's Sunday. I feel like an absolute grub. Thank you for your ongoing support of this channel and the community that we've all built together. It means a lot to me. Some of you guys have been with me for such a long time now that, you know, we genuinely are friends offline as well. It's really special, and I really love that so many of you have stuck with me for the long haul. Don't forget to subscribe to the new Shxtty Kxtty Kxtchen channel, which is where I will eventually be doing all my live cooking. And have a beautiful night. Sweet dreams for those of you off to bed. Good morning to anyone waking up. I'm going to now put a big bowl of soup together with the Greek yogurt and coriander and settle in for MasterChef. But until next time, stay groovy, everyone. And remember, if you're a fucking Australian, you speak like this. "Arr, me hearties. Hey, fire the cannons, fire the cannons." Good night, everyone, from me and Sunny. Love you, girls. And guys, if any of you are watching, see you again very soon.